Begin standing at the top of your mat or space. Root down through all four corners of the feet. Bring the shoulders up to ears on inhale, and exhale them around, down, and back. Allow the spine to remain nice and tall, crown or top of head lifted towards ceiling. The breath to enter and exit through the nostrils at a nice, even pace. Finding the inhales to match the length of the exhales. Finding your center. Inhale, lift both arms and gaze overhead. Bring the shoulder blades down into the spine. And then keeping the tailbone pointed down, exhale as you bend both knees into a chair position. Start to generate some warmth in the legs. Keep the breath smooth. And as you inhale, lift back up to standing. On the exhale, lower both palms to heart center. Again, you'll lift both arms and gaze, lengthen. And then exhale, bring the shoulder blades into the spine as you sit into chair pose again. Tailbone is pointed down, so your low back should not be curved. Again, a smooth breath. And inhale back up to standing. And exhale, lower palms to heart center. Inhale, lift the arms and gaze. Exhale, bend from the hips to fold forward, relaxing the head and neck. Inhale to a flat back, lengthening, hands to the ground or to the shins. Exhale, fold, relaxing head to the shins. Bending the knees, you'll inhale as you slowly rise up to standing, stacking the vertebrae, lifting palms up, and exhale, send the palms to heart center. Again, inhale to lengthen, look up, join the hands. Exhale, bend to fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, place the hands to the ground, step back one leg then the other to a plank. Keep the elbows close as you exhale, high to low. Allowing the inhale to bring the chest and gaze up, upward dog, and exhale back to downward facing dog. Here you'll keep the feet about hips distance apart. You'll press nice and even through both hands, palms throughout all 10 fingers. Feel free to find a bit of movement or bending or straightening one knee or leg at a time, or to keep a nice healthy bend to both knees. When your next exhale comes, bend the knees if they're not. Look ahead, return to the top of mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale to fold. Tiny bend to the knees as you inhale standing. And exhale, send palms to heart center. From here, you'll plant through both heels. Bring the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale them around, down, and back, interlacing all 10 fingers. On your exhale, gaze to the right. Inhale back to center. And exhale, gaze over the left shoulder. Inhale back to center and exhale, forward fold, bending the knees as much or little as is comfortable, allowing the body to fold forward and the hands to come behind you or towards the ceiling or overhead. Opening the space between shoulder blades. Then release the bind, bring hands to shins, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, hop back to plank. Keep the shoulders over the wrists, press the heels away from the head. Elbows stay close as you exhale, high to low. Inhale, expand the chest, roll the shoulders up and back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Keep the tailbone high. Lift the right leg skyward on inhale. Then bend the right knee, pull it into the chest, keeping shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, lift the right leg, bend the right knee, open the right hip. On your next inhale, point the right toes or leg. And exhale, pulse the right knee in. Inhale again, open the right knee and hip. And then exhale, pulse the knee into chest. Inhale to open. And exhale to pulse the knee into chest. And return back to downward facing dog. From here, you'll lift the left leg on inhale, flexing the left foot, and then pulse the left knee into the chest. Inhale, open the left hip. And then exhale, pulse the left knee into the chest. Inhale, lift left leg, bend the knee, open the hip. And exhale, pulse knee into chest, shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, open one more time. And exhale, release left leg to downward dog. On the next exhale, bend the knees, look ahead, hop to the top of mat if you can. Lift halfway on inhale. Exhale to fold. Inhale, find that rise to standing slowly, lifting the gaze and arms. And exhale, send palms back to heart center. Again, you'll roll the shoulders up and back and releasing all 10 fingers. On your exhale, you'll point or turn the head over right shoulder. Inhale to lengthen and look center. Exhale, point the head over the left shoulder. Inhale as you come back to the center, bend the knees slightly. Exhale to fold forward, bringing those interlaced fingers over the head or towards the ceiling, opening the shoulder blades. Exhale, release the hands to the ground. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, hop back to plank. Shoulders are over the wrists. Here you'll lift the left leg and right hand. Lower them, then lift the opposite leg and hand. Keep the core tight. Lift again the opposite leg and hand. And one more time, lift the opposite leg and hand. Great. Come back to a plank position. Exhale, high to low. Inhale into upward dog, engage the inner thighs. And exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Pressing the hips slightly away from the hands to lengthen the spine. Now just take a few steps towards the top of the mat, towards a forward fold. Inhaling halfway. Exhaling as you fold, plant the hands to the ground and come into a crow position if that's in your practice. And try to press the palms into the ground or mat. Bring the knees to the backs of the arms, belly pulled in. If you can, exhale, jump back to plank or step back to plank. Exhale, travel high to low. Inhale to upward dog and exhale back to downward dog. And if none of that worked, just bring yourself right back to downward facing dog. Perfect. Inhale the right leg. Send the right foot to the top of the mat. Between both hands, drop the left heel, bring the hips to face forward, or press the right hip back and raise the arms to warrior one. Shoulder blades are relaxed. Exhale, set the palms to heart center. Pull the belly into the spine. Here as you shift the weight forward to the front right foot. And keep a bend to the right knee as you bring that left foot up into warrior three. You can bring a bind to the hands again or arms behind you. Try to do that. Otherwise, hands wherever is comfortable. I'll keep the left foot flexed. Slowly then lower the left foot down to the ground so you're in a lunge position with the arms bound if possible. Maybe a small back bend. And then you'll exhale forward, allowing the chest to come towards the thigh but not resting on it. Then release both hands to the ground or left palm to the ground. Inhale, right arm skyward. Hug the right inner thigh into chest. Exhale, you'll bring both hands back to the ground. Bring the right leg skyward on inhale and exhale, down dog. Inhale, swing the left leg up, bringing it to the top of the mat between both hands. Drop the right heel. Press the left hip back so hips square forward, warrior one. Arms up, shoulders relaxed. Again, you'll start to pull the belly into the spine. Exhale the palms to heart center. And start to shift the weight forward when you're ready. You can take a step or pulse or shift the weight forward first before you lift. You'll keep a nice bend to the left knee as you come into warrior three. Again, pulling the belly into the spine here. Keeping the right foot flexed, toes pointed down. Again, you can bind the hands behind for more of a challenge, or feel free to keep them to heart center. And then slowly lower that back foot down, keeping the front left knee over the ankle. If hands were not bound, bring them behind the back. And on your exhale, allow the chest to come towards the thigh, but not rest on it. You're using the core to support the upper body here. Hands are up towards the ceiling for that release. And exhale, release palms to the ground. Right hand stays, left arm raises, open, skyward. And then release both hands to the ground. Send the left leg back into a one-legged down dog. And then release back to downward facing dog. On the next exhale, bend the knees, jump if you can to top of mat. Inhale halfway, exhale to fold. Inhale, rise to standing. Root through the heels, lengthen through the hands. Exhale, some palms to heart center. So we'll prepare for eagle pose called Garudasana. You'll just make a circle forwards or backwards with the arms to loosen the shoulders. And then go ahead and wrap the right arm underneath the left arm and the left leg over the right leg. Sometimes you can do the same limb doing the same action, but for today we'll do left leg over right. You're squeezing the inner thighs together. You're allowing the elbows to come away from the body and lifting the hands to open space behind the back. Keeping the belly pulled in nice and firm. And as you start to stand up, lift that left leg and then send it back into warrior three, just as you were before. You'll bring the hands into a prayer position. You'll then slowly set the back leg down into a warrior two position so the back foot's parallel to the short side of your mat. Arms to a T, gazes over the front. Straighten the front right leg on inhale. Exhale, right hand away from you towards the right shin. Just below the knee as left arm comes skyward. You're extending the head away from the hips here. Lengthening the torso and upper body. On the exhale, bend the right knee again to warrior two. And the next time you exhale, cartwheel the hands to the top of the mat, plant the palms, and just kick your weight forward up to a sort of standing half splits here. Lifting the left leg skyward and bending the right knee. If you can make a bind, you'll bring that left foot into the left hand, keeping the right leg and right hand grounded and a bend to right knee. Don't have to bind, you can just remain in standing half splits. And then release into a forward fold position either way. Taking a breath in and out. Inhale halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale, find the rise to standing. Lift the arms. And exhale, send palms to heart center. So again, bring the arms forward or backward, loosening the shoulders. This time the left hand or arm will come underneath the right arm. And then the right leg will come over the left leg. And you're squeezing at the inner thighs, squatting. Pulling the elbows away from the body and lifting the hands, keeping a steady breath. Keeping the breath smooth and trying to take a smooth transition. You'll slowly unwrap that leg back into a warrior three. Right leg will come back to a warrior three, flexing that right foot, keeping a small bend to the left knee. Hands in prayer. And then slowly set that back foot down so it's parallel to the short side of your mat or space. Front left knee is bent over the ankle, arms to a T. Inhale to straighten the front leg and exhale to triangle on the left side. The gaze can stay up or down or ahead, whatever's most comfortable for your neck, although down brings the best balance. Again, on the exhale, bend the knee, lift the arms to warrior two. And then cartwheel the hands to the top of the mat, shift the weight forward. So your left foot's at the top of the mat, left hand. If you like, you can raise that right leg skyward, standing half splits, or find a bind between the right leg and right hand. Finding a nice stretch in that quad or front right hip. From wherever you are, just release to a forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale halfway, exhale, plant the palms. Again, if crow is possible, find crow. If not, you can always try or practice. You're pulling the belly in and up, keeping the gaze to the top of the mat or slightly ahead. And exhale, jump back to plank or step back to plank and exhale, travel high to low. Inhale to upward dog and exhale back, downward facing dog. From here, you'll lift the right leg skyward, bend the right knee into the chest, and then plant the right knee or leg down to the ground into pigeon pose or half pigeon pose. You can bring the back left leg out, relaxing it, left foot, top of the foot to the ground. Here you're going to keep the hips nice and level. Try not to rock too much to the right side. You can keep the hands to the ground, supporting your body upright. Or if it's comfortable for you, feel free to bring the upper body down to the forearms. Either way, you're maintaining a nice smooth breath. From here, you'll roll over onto the right side, keeping the right foot tucked into the right groin. Extend the left leg out in front of you. Inhale both arms, and then exhale, fold over that straightened left leg. You'll keep the left foot flexed, the left leg connected to the ground, and relax the shoulders, head, and neck, keeping the lower body or legs engaged and the upper body to relax over the lower body. As you inhale to sit back up, bring both knees together, extending the legs if you can into a full boat pose. Navasana, keeping the low back nice and firm and belly pulled in. And then cross the legs, plant the palms, step back to plank, and exhale back to downward facing dog. Send the left leg skyward, and then bring that left knee or leg to the top of the mat. And you'll extend the right leg out behind, bringing the top of right foot to the ground. In your pigeon pose here, again, or half pigeon pose, you want to keep the hips nice and level so you're not rocking too much to the left side. Both hips are square to the ground and facing forward. Again, feel free to keep the hands connected to the ground, supporting the upper body. Or feel free to allow the forearms to come to the ground as well. Wherever you stay, make sure you're staying in a place that you feel some resistance, and just try to sit in a place or in that place with your resistance. And from here, you'll swing the body over onto the left side or left bottom. Extend the right leg out in front of you. Inhale to lift both arms, and exhale, folding over that front right leg, making sure the right leg is fully connected to the ground, relaxing the head, neck, and shoulders. Again, reminding yourself to keep the right toes pointing to the ceiling, to keep that leg nice and long, active. Observing the air enter and exit from the nose. As you inhale, you'll slowly rise back up to the center. Again, bring the knees or legs into a boat pose. Knees can be bent or legs straight. Hands can connect or not. Keeping the chest lifted. And slowly lower the chest and the legs into more of a canoe. And then see if you can bring the two big fingers, or two piece fingers, to wrap around the two big toes rather. Extending the legs out in front of you. Pulling the toes or legs towards the upper body. And very slowly lowering down to the ground from here. A big breath in. And exhale to release your air. From here, you'll bend both knees, bringing the soles of feet to the ground, about a foot or so apart, or hips distance apart. Keep the hands planted to the ground, and as you exhale, lift the hips up towards the ceiling. You can keep the hands to the ground or lift the shoulders, tuck them under one at a time, and support the upper body with the shoulders rather than neck. Hands can clasp behind. You're going to keep the inner thighs squeezing together here. You can lift one leg off the ground if you'd like to make it more difficult, but you do not have to. If you are lifting the leg, you want to make sure that the hips and bottom still stay lifted. If you have lifted one leg, you'll lower that leg and lift the opposite. Still grounding firmly through the standing leg or foot or through both feet. And just keeping the gaze up so neck is neutral. And then you'll very slowly lower the bottom down to the ground, and maybe just pull the knees into the chest, or just open the knees wide or rock them side to side, allowing the hips to relax. Maybe making a few circles with the knees or legs. And then you'll bring both knees back into the chest. Just taking a moment here to notice the connection between the breath and the body. Body is still, but breath is still moving. And then slowly you'll extend the left leg to the ground. Grab a hold of the right knee, if that's where you can reach, or the right foot or right toe if you can reach there. I'm just sending a nice stretch to that right hamstring. And if you're holding the knee or the foot or toe or ankle, you'll slowly extend that right leg out or knee out to the right side of body. And you'll turn over to the left side of body. Your gaze, will turn over to the left. You'll notice that left hip will start to pop up off of the ground. If it does pop off too much, you might need to raise the right leg a little bit. You can also use your left hand to assist that left hip to the ground. When you inhale, you'll send that right knee or leg back up to center, and then slowly set it down to the ground. Switching sides, you'll bend the left knee, bringing it into the chest, grabbing at the knee, the ankle, the foot or toes, finding a stretch in that left leg. And then very slowly, whatever your hand is connected to in the leg, you'll extend it out to the side, left side of body as you gaze over to the right. And again, you'll keep in mind how much that right hip starts to pop off. Finding a hip opening. As you send the leg back up to the center, just allow the whole body to relax and release, or bring the legs back down to the ground, but the knees up to the ceiling rather, bending the knees so you can just kind of twist side to side softly, allowing the knees to softly toss to one side, turning the gaze to the opposite side. And doing that on both sides. From here, you'll bring the knees to the chest and the palms to heart center. Bring the core to the spine, and if you can at once, try to sit up in one, sitting into boat pose. Back to Navasana. Legs extended or knees bent. You can connect the hands or not. Keep the back nice and firm. Keep the breath nice and smooth through the nose. Smooth inhale, smooth exhale. And then as you exhale, just release all the way back down to the back. Relaxing the body, relaxing the feet to the ground. Making a comfortable position for yourself. You might tuck the shoulders underneath one at a time to sort of expand the chest, creating a bit more space for air, allowing the ankles to roll open, and the body, the muscles just completely relax. If your mind follows, that's great as well. So for these next few moments, as you lie here relaxing, try just to allow the body to be as it is, allowing the body to feel heavy, connected to the surface it's supported by, allowing any extra or excess thoughts, feelings, or energy to just leave you, and invite the next inhale with open arms, and allow the exhale to carry away anything that's not needed. Another inhale and exhale, and then bend both knees, bringing the knees towards the ceiling, maybe the arms overhead for a stretch. And just keeping the eyes closed, very slowly find your way to your right side to relax for a moment. And slowly find your way up to a seated position, just keeping the eyes closed, the body calm, noting how the body feels, noting now the sit bones as they're connected to the surface beneath you, keeping the spine nice and tall, face and shoulders relaxed. Taking a moment to acknowledge your practice. Thank you for making time for yourself today, for sharing your practice with me, and allowing me to share mine with you. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, just release the air throughout the mouth. Bring the hands to the heart, bow the head to the hands. Namaste. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you. See you again soon.